Hello, everybody. Okay, I am making sure that we are live and everything looks good in our thing here. Making sure that our invitation is all set up and we are a go. Checking socials to make sure that we are set. It'll take us a few minutes. All right. We are getting set. I'm just making sure that we are on live. Yes, we are live. Awesome. Hello, everybody. All right, so definitely tell me if you're in the comments. Tell me where you're from. We're going to get started here very soon. Looking forward to this live tonight with the healing fawn. That's Serena. She is dear friend of mine from oh my gosh, years ago. Me and her, we opened up a freestanding surgical center that was connected with one of the major healthcare organizations in the Philadelphia region down in the Navy Yard. Oh my gosh. And that place is still there. I can't believe it. Anyway, so Serena is a nurse of, gosh, like 15, 20 years now. And her and I have been in the health and well-being space forever. We are working together to bring you something very unique tonight. I'm looking forward to it. And just making sure. All right. Making sure we've got everything good to go. All right, cool. All right. So while we're waiting, we're going to talk a few minutes about my health education platform and business, Igniters Nation Health. So that's a training and development education company about health. And so my platform is about feeding our gut and protecting our liver so that we can reverse chronic disease symptoms and to reverse one of the silent root causes for 90% of chronic illness, which is insulin resistance. And people think of insulin and they think immediately diabetes. Actually, insulin resistance is the thing that happens for 10 to 15 years before you actually get diabetes. Hang on for just 1 second. Hang on. Yeah. I gave you the wrong email. Okay. What is it? Healing Fawn. I just texted you. Healing Fawn somatic. The first email that. Okay. Got it. All right. We got it here. All right. You can jump on in. It will be at your inbox in a moment. Great. Thanks. All right. Bye. All right, that was Serena. She's getting on in just a moment. I know that it's like, oh my gosh, this is just taking forever, right? All right. So that is what I am doing. I'm also in a couple of women's networking groups. And so I'm going to be adding some information on that at the end in the comments. So if you're looking for women's empowerment networking groups, I have a couple of them to recommend, and I'll be putting them into the links down below. If you're a nurse in the Philadelphia region, you might be interested in the Carepreneur Circle, and that is a grassroots group that was formed by nurses here in the Philadelphia region. There's another one called Polka Dot Group, which is nationwide. There's a worldwide organization called Women Belong, which I am now one of the founders of one of the circles for the Philadelphia region. So anyway, enough of all that. Now that we've got Serena on, welcome to the live, Serena. I'm so excited about this tonight. Now you are going to be the taking the wheel and walking me through what it looks like with what you do with your clients, because I'm so excited about this. One thing that I've learned with somatic therapies and somatic work is that it works underneath the conscious level.
Yes.
So there's all these really, really important, highly tuned um, techniques that Serena has, been educated on and trained in, certified in. She's not just some like doc in the box weekend certification stuff. This woman has been at this for a very long time. And this is like her heart and soul, right? So, and I know Serena from many years as a nurse. So, like, she puts her butt on the line. She's a nurse, she's a mom, she's a healer. She does this somatic therapy herself. This isn't just some side gig stuff, right?
Exactly.
And she's put her money where her mouth is. This woman owns one of those beds that I mean, like this bed. I could talk ad nauseum about the bed, but we don't have much time for that for tonight. But I'm really looking forward to this. I am putty in your hands. I have like literally everybody who's here tonight. Really sit and listen to this. Like share this live out with others. You
Yes.
gotta understand, like we have so many reactions on a daily basis, and you sit there and look at you're like, where did that crap come from?
Yeah.
This is what this stuff is about. So sit back, watch this thing happen tonight, and if you want any information, go to thehealingfawn.com, right?
Yes. Yep.
For Serena, and look up her stuff. She's almost always on a waiting list. So seriously, you got to like get with her quickly so that you can get in the queue, even just to get started or to put your toe in the water on this. This is important and strong and like strong medicine.
Yes. And thank you so much, Chris, for willing to be kind of the demo person. It's huge. So it takes some vulnerability, and I really appreciate you being able to do this for me, for clients, and then for people who maybe just come across this, to be able to uh, understand what this experience is. Because as you said, this isn't something that's very easily explained. Chris and I did a live a few weeks ago, and it might have been 40 minutes, and it takes more about that to really understand this. It's not something that you can just like, oh, this is what it is in a sentence or two. So I feel like for people to see it, that makes it so much, that brings it to life. Um,
Totally agree. And
yeah.
hey, I'm an open book. Um, I come from a family of I'm a child of a bunch of alcoholics. Um, Everybody has childhood trauma, even if they didn't like go through the drama of alcoholism or drug addiction or any of that stuff. Like ch- growing up human is messy.
Yes.
And there are breaks in belonging that happen that like need to happen for us to progress as human beings towards being adults. And the sticky thing is when we get stuck in those ruts and we
Mhm.
don't progress farther. So
Yeah.
like you may be hearing in your head like 5-year-old conversations. That's because you're stuck in a 5-year-old rut right there. So
Mm.
this is just training and development on our pathway as humans. So this is not like to fix or like that there's something broken. There's none of that. What this is taking you to the next level of your own development in life. This is for healthy people who want to get healthier,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So, and like anything that's here, like I'm just an open book. Like I'm a hot mess express. I'm totally willing and open to this. So anything that's here, this is all for the benefit of um Serena, myself, and anyone else watching tonight.
Yes. Awesome. So we'll get started, and the first part of a session is I'm just going to kind of guide you into your body, to do a
Mhm.
few little exercises to get you kind of centered and grounded. And then all you really have to do is just kind of follow my guidance.
Okay.
You're just going to zen out and just let your body kind of do the listening.
Okay.
I will say two things. Um, Silence is an intervention in somatic therapy. So if there's periods of time where there's no nothing, that's actually a good thing. That's like the silence is where movement can happen. So um I always tell people, like, don't feel like you need to rush to answer, or if there's silence, you don't need to fill the gap. It kind of can just be. And then some of the questions I ask might seem strange, and your answers might feel strange, and that's okay. Nothing. There's no wrong answer. When you're listening to your body. So if something's like, I feel like this is what I'm coming up with, but it doesn't make sense, like it does make sense. So don't
Mhm.
second guess anything.
All right, cool. I appreciate that.
All right. So let's just check in and see before we get you grounded.
Hmm.
Do you need to move? Do you need to stretch, stand up, move around?
I think just that lower back just needed a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe like a womb stretch, pretending you're like a baby in the womb and just feeling around your environment. Yeah.
We never actually take energy, like, to take up space.
Yes. Just noticing the space. Good. All right. So now I want you to just kind of find your back resting fully on the chair behind you, and allow the chair to really be a support to you. So if you need to kind of shift your weight so that it's almost holding you,
Mm.
yeah. And we'll just notice kind of your back body, your shoulders, your upper back, your mid back. And noticing the supports that they're resting on via the chair. And if there's any weight or bracing or tension that is being held in that back body that you can let go for a few moments and give that tension to the chair. Yielding in, nestling in. Good. And then I'll invite you to bring your awareness to your hips, your sits bones, your buttocks, your upper thighs. While noticing the supports of the bottom part of the chair that are holding this other part of your weight. And I'll invite you to notice if you're holding any tension or bracing in these areas and your belly. And can we invite them to soften just a little bit and allow the chair to hold and support you. Again, that you can give your weight to the supports. Good. And then I'll have you find your feet on the floor beneath you. We'll just give them a little wiggle. Notice them and the space around them, the air around them. And then noticing the floor that's underneath them. Maybe noticing what the texture of the floor feels like on the bottom of your feet. Is it soft, hard, prickly, smooth? Maybe checking in on the temperature of your feet. They feel cool or warm. And then I'll just invite you to slowly start to move your feet back and forth on the floor beneath you. Almost like you're skiing. You're not lifting them off the floor, just creating a little bit of friction, a little bit of warmth. Good. And now pause. Just be still. Just check in with your feet. They should feel a little more connected to the floor beneath you. You might notice some tingly sensations. Good. And then we'll bring your awareness up to your chest and your heart space. And for just a few moments, I'll invite you to just notice your natural rhythm of your breath. And just observing the rise and fall of your chest. The expansion and contraction. And I'll just mention here, if you find yourself going back into the thoughts of the thinking mind, the to-do lists, what you have to do later or tomorrow, that's okay. We can acknowledge the thoughts, but then pull the awareness back to the heart and chest. Good. Now we'll take a few slower, deeper breaths, and we'll do this with a 4-second inhale through your nose, and then we'll hold for about 5 seconds, and then when we exhale, try to exhale for 7 or 8 seconds through your mouth, like we're blowing out birthday candles. So let's inhale. Hold. Exhale. And then always pause before your next breath. Just a moment or two of stillness. Good. And then next breath, inhale through your nose. Your belly should expand. Hold. And then exhale through the mouth. Good. Pause. Just be still for a few moments. Good. And then one more breath. Inhale through the nose. Belly expanding. Hold. Exhale through the mouth. Good. Good. So now I'm just going to open up space for your body as we quiet the thoughts of the thinking mind a bit more and seeing what areas may need attention, maybe calling out for attention within your body. So I'll invite you to gently just start to scan from your face, your throat, your chest, your belly, your hips, your groin, your legs and feet. Just noticing what might be catching your attention underneath the surface of your skin. And then scanning up your sacrum, your low back, mid back, upper back, your neck. Scanning if there's any areas of tightness, constriction, any feelings of stuck, knotted, braced, tense. And take your time, there's no rush. But once you notice an area that's calling out for your attention, I'll invite you to share that with me. And again, take your time.
My like mid thorax spine area down to like lumbar, like 1
Okay.
is tight.
Tight.
More like left of midline.
Okay.
And then my right scapula, like right at the top, like almost like right there.
Okay.
And
And that's all on your back, right?
mm-hmm.
All on the back body. Good. Okay. So let's just notice those areas. Not trying to make any meaning of anything yet, just noticing this tension. Your low back, your mid back, and your shoulder. You're just being curious. Just like if you were sitting with a curious friend, a friend telling you a story and you're sitting interested, listening.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're just noticing the sensation, I'm wondering if the sensation in your shoulder is in some way feel like it's connected to the tension in your back, or do they feel like they're separate?
They feel connected.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
And the only other area that speaks a little bit is like north of my belly button, like just below the xiphoid process, like underneath the rib cage.
Okay.
There.
Okay. So what I want you to notice, this shoulder and back tension, and now this stomach, lower abdomen tension. Which one of these sensations, as you just feel into that felt sense, feel heavier, feel stronger? If you had to weigh these two sensations.
I would say the thorax area of the back.
The back, yeah. Okay. Good. So I'm going to invite you to picture you have a big red Sharpie marker, and you're going to draw the outline around this tension in your thorax that connects up to your shoulder. So you're just outlining the perimeter of this tension. Take your time.
Should I actually trace it out?
You can do it like, if it feels right for you, like this.
So it's like, kind of looks like Utah.
Utah.
Oh,
Yes.
no, Idaho. It looks like Idaho. Because Idaho's got like this
That,
long, and
yeah,
then it looks like Idaho.
perfect. So that really gave you a good idea of the shape of it, because that was going to be my next question. So you got the shape, the size. Good. So let's just notice that. We have this size, the shape. So we're getting more of a handle on this sensation. And in your own words, when it feels right for you, try to describe what this tension or tightness feels like.
It feels like a limit to my body's movement.
Mm,
And it feels like a constant, it's not just an irritant, it's like a constant noise.
noise. Yeah.
But sometimes I tune out, but most of the time it's like it becomes this, like the predominant noise.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's limiting. It's
Mhm.
limiting your movement. Uh, Constricting. Does that feel right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um,
And it's more pronounced laying in bed than it is pretty much any other time of the day.
mm, yeah. Okay. So, can we just notice that limitation or constriction just for a few moments, just embodying the constriction within that sensation? So often we try to distract or push away or not listen to the sensation and notice it. So, just a few moments, just being with that limitation, constriction. And this is going to be one of those questions that seem a little odd, but again, just allow your body to answer. Does this sensation feel like it wants to move? Or does it feel like it's really stuck here?
It feels like it wants to move. Like often laying in bed, I end up fitfully moving around.
Mm, yeah. So it wants to move. Yeah. Good. Good. So now I want to invite you, just like we're dipping our finger in to the sensation, into the middle of Idaho. We're just tapping our finger right in, not immersing, but just touching in to the sensation. And I'm curious what emotion may be coming up for you when you dip your toe inside. And take your time. Allow your body to answer. And there's no right or wrong.
It it has like a color of blue.
Mm-hmm. Good.
And the first thing that comes up is like a thought of sadness, but I'm not feeling that. Like I'm like disconnected from the feeling of sadness. But it's like if I was to guess, given the color and
Mm,
the nature of it, it's more restrictive than what I would consider anger or pain. It feels more sad.
okay. Yeah. Feels more sad, but it feels like a little disconnect as well. You
Oh,
weren't
yeah.
sure if it was a thinking part saying it or, yeah,
Hard to distinguish.
yeah. Very, very common. So let's try to we just want to welcome this sensation, whether it's sadness or something else. Um, but almost like we're speaking to this part of you and telling it, whatever it is that you're feeling, if it is sadness or something else, you're allowed to be here. You're welcome here. I'm not going to try to get rid of you or push you away. And it's okay for you to just be here. How does that feel?
Probably the first time in my life I've actually said something like that to myself, to something that I'd like to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed that it's actually happy to hear that.
Yes. Yes. Good.
Like relief.
Relief. Yes. Yes. Good. So now I want you to do the dipping your toe in again, that you've welcomed it and it feels relief. See if you can get more of a sense of what emotion maybe wants to be seen here, maybe wants to be felt here. See if you get a little bit of a clearer answer. And either way, knowing it's okay, whatever it is, it's welcome.
It's got a color and a lighter emotion of happy
Mm.
but it also has other things in it. Like, so if you've ever like mixed all the colors of the rainbow together, you get like brown.
Mhm.
So brown keeps on coming through. Like
Mm.
way more emotions, and they're not separated, like they're mixed all together.
Mm. Mhm. Makes a lot of sense, right? That it's hard to distinguish which one it is because there's a lot mixed in there.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we welcome all of them, all mixed together. And that makes sense why it's limiting, because that's a lot going on, having so many different stuck emotions in one place. Yeah. So let's just acknowledge, like, yeah, that makes sense that you felt so limited and constricted. And this, again, is one of those weird questions. um, but, you know, if we were to ask this part, this Idaho tension, constriction, brown colored mixed emotion sensation, if we were to tell this sensation that it has space and it has the floor right now, and is there anything that it may want to speak or say as a result of all these mixed emotions? If we were to give this part a microphone, again, there's no right or wrong answer.
It keeps like something about the word burden,
Burden.
something about the word like um okay, have you ever seen like a flower like droop?
Mm-hmm.
So consider Idaho drooping
Mm. Mm-hmm.
underneath the weight of something. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, that makes a lot of sense because it's your shoulder on your back. So it's like almost like the way your arm just went, like the drooping flower, like that's like the shoulder
yeah.
pulling down on, yeah. Does this part feel like it's a burden? Is that what it was? Do you think that's what it wanted to say? I'm a burden?
I don't know if it's I'm a burden or I'm burdened. I don't know which
Burden.
one.
Yes. Okay. That's okay. Does this sensation feel familiar to you? Like, have you felt this limited movement, constriction in these parts of your body before? Is there anything that feels familiar about this?
Oh yeah, like saying like tension in the shoulders,
Mhm.
um, the behind the heart chakra,
Mhm.
and like behind the solar plexus
Yeah,
area.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, yeah. So, if I had to ask you, since this is a familiar sensation, if I had to ask your body, When may have been the first time you felt this constriction, limitedness, limited movement? And you're essentially asking your body, like that body memory, when was the first time that I felt this sensation? And see what comes up. There's no right or wrong answer. This can come up in a memory or an image, a thought. And just
There's one that comes up like there was this, like, I think it's got to be preschool or kindergarten
okay.
in class,
Yeah.
and I was in the wrong room, I think. I was not in the right room, whatever it was, and I was called out of that room into a different room.
Hmm. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, and there's the sensation or the thing that my body does when I experience the sensation is the feeling of getting smaller,
Mm.
like
Okay.
smaller.
Getting smaller.
Yeah, like, like my chest concaves in and I'm
Yes. Yeah. And as we're exploring this, I'll invite you to allow that curling in to be, um, if it feels right for the sensation, like we're normally trying to go against it, to straighten it out. But if it feels better to lean in, allow it to morph into that position, you can. So the memory that feels familiar was being in a classroom and then being called out and saying, actually, there's another classroom that you belong in. It's not this one.
mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know if my mind, I don't even recall anything other than the teacher opening up the door, looking at me and saying, "This is not your room. You need to come with me." And that's all I remember of the memory, all. That's it.
Yeah. It stayed with you for a reason.
Right.
And again, I'm asking your body this, but what belief do you think you felt in that moment when the teacher opened the door, looked at you, and said you're in the wrong room?
The words that come to mind are very, like, childlike, like bad,
Bad,
wrong,
wrong.
those kind of things. I don't think children at that age, like, I don't think I knew the word for embarrassment or somehow being singled out or somehow being different than or somehow less than, but it's in that realm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
prior to those type of understandings, the words bad, wrong,
Mm. Yep.
that's what comes up.
Yeah. Good. Good. So, yes, very good. Can we just be with that sense in that Idaho shape, that constriction and tension and contraction, that those were some of the beliefs or thoughts that are stuck in here as well. Bad, wrong, pointed out, singled out, ostracized, embarrassed. Because at that age, developmentally, it was probably the first time we felt these things. So then that's where these beliefs then come in, like I am bad, I am wrong, or maybe I don't fit in, or I don't belong here.
Mm-hmm.
Do either of those, any of what I just said, feel right?
Yeah, the one I don't belong here seems to really have its a pull.
A pull, yeah. 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 So let's just pause and take a few slow, deep breaths. Just sending some compassion to these parts through your breath. So on the inhale, we're kind of just pulling in that compassion, sending it to those parts, and releasing. So using your breath to send warmth, compassion through your shoulder, down to your thorax and low back, and then out. So, would it be okay if we just spent a few more minutes with that memory of you at kindergarten?
Mhm.
Okay. Would it be okay if you pulled up the scene where you were in the classroom and maybe you felt connected there for a moment? Possibly you were enjoying yourself, and then someone comes in and they're opening the door to tell you you're in the wrong class. Can we just press pause on that scene? Good. And you, as the observer, you're looking at little Chris, 5, 6-year-old Chris. And you're seeing her, and this is just the very beginning of this person just calling out her name, acknowledging, like, oh, you're in the wrong class. But before that belief had time to set in, that I don't belong, you, the adult Chris, shows up in the classroom. The adult you is, in a lot of respects in this work, the loving parent to little Chris. So now you are in this memory, in this scene, and little Chris is being told she's in the wrong class and she needs to go to another. But before that belief sets in, you get to intervene and walk into the classroom and do anything, say anything that you would like that you needed back then that maybe you didn't get? And you can share that with me, or you can visualize it, but this is your recreation of this scene.
So my first thing is to hold out my hand to my younger self and invite Chrissy to get up and come with me, and let's go do something else. We're not going to be here in this room. We're going to go somewhere else.
Yes. Yes. We're going to go do something else together. Yeah.
Mhm. More like an invitation.
An invitation. Yeah. And what do you think her expression looks like as she sees you and hears you?
Perked up and excited and interested and uh, like just alive.
Alive. Yes. Excited, perked up. Yeah. Good. What else? Anything else that you would want to do or add in this scene?
More like just pointing out um, like the fun we're going to have. We're going to go do something else. We're going to go have fun.
We're going to go have fun. Yeah. Yeah. Good. And then maybe visualize that you go to that other classroom
Mm-hmm.
together. And
And
maybe
the
it,
funny thing is that classroom's just as cool as the other classroom.
yeah, yeah. And maybe just visualize being in that same cool, fun classroom with her. And maybe what would it feel like to just, give her a hug once she's settled in and she's playing. Just picture giving her a nice big hug and squeeze, and so she feels really reassured and safe in that moment. What does that feel like in your body?
Light.
Light, light. Yeah, yeah. And maybe picturing you're kind of just putting your hands on your cheeks, but you're also putting them on her cheeks. So here now in the present moment, I'll have you put your hands on your cheeks, but you're also visualizing that you're doing that to her.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just checking, are you okay now? Do you feel good? Are you safe? Are you comfortable in this classroom?
Mm-hmm.
And just picture her little face in your hands. Take a few breaths here. And you can stay in that hold. But I want to invite you now to check in on that Idaho state, in your shoulder, in your thorax, and see if anything has changed or moved or shifted when you sense in.
Well, it's much lighter.
Mm-hmm.
There's more of like a sense of peace.
Peace. Yeah. A lightness.
Yeah. And there's like the words like I'm taken care of.
Yeah. I'm taken care of. Yes. So versus I don't belong, I'm actually taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What a difference. I don't belong, heavy, dark. I'm taken care of, light, soft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good. I'm curious if the color in your shoulder and back and that sensation has the sensation changed? Is it still Idaho? Or
No, it's not really Idaho anymore. There's probably maybe like a line,
a
but
lot?
not like this huge
Ah,
state of.
Idaho. Yeah, so just a line. Wow. Is there a color in the line?
It's
Just
more like in the rose
yeah.
pink.
Mm. Wow. Isn't that incredible what your body did? It took the state of Idaho, a big, brown, heavy, constricted, no movement or limited tightness, and was able to soften it so much that it's just a line of pink, rose, gold, or pink. Beautiful. When you're ready, I'll invite you to just gently open your eyes. Maybe blink a few times just to kind of orient yourself back to the space. Look around the room just to get your bearings. Great job, Chris. You did awesome.
That's cool. Like I haven't had an experience of feeling like taken care of in a while.
Yes. Give yourself a big hug, which is also a very good somatic tool. Just squeeze and hug. And you could even picture squeezing and hugging little Chris because that was so beautiful. Have you ever visualized with her like that before with your little girl?
Yeah, not that scene, not that memory,
Memory.
but a couple of hard things that's happened in life. I've had a few sessions where I've done some like uh um inner child work,
Yeah.
like being the parent, parenting yourself and that kind of
Mhm.
thing. And it always comes back to just having that experience of like really feeling cared for.
Yeah. 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 That was the
Yeah.
missing need, you know? It's the missing need that you weren't yeah, that you didn't feel that
Mhm.
or enough that it made an impact.
Mhm.
But the cool thing is that we can give it to her now, you know, that we actually can. And those burdens are less and softer because we can do something about it now.
Yeah. And that it's like a state change.
Yeah. Yes. That's what you're feeling, like a state change. Yeah, like a
Yeah,
state.
total state change. Yeah,
Good.
that was really good. Oh, girl. Very smart stuff. This is good. This is good. I really love this. This was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you, and thank you for being vulnerable. You know, that's not easy to do with people watching and all of that. So, yeah, you did great. You were
Great.
really
And
able to sense. So, thank you.
oh, thank you. And um for anybody that was watching and you have an interest in the
Questions?
work that's being done, or you've got a question, or that you have a thought and you want to share that with Serena, you can find her at
Thehealingfawn.com, or on social media, it's The Healing Fawn.
yeah. And also I've got this live streaming on YouTube, so I will grab that. You'll get that link,
Awesome.
Serena, so that you've got the ability to use this information and utilize it. I mean, like, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Thank
Cool.
you. Have a great rest of your night. I hope you get
Thank
a good
you.
night's sleep tonight from that.
I have a feeling that's definitely what's going to happen. So thank you so much, Serena. I
All right.
appreciate you.
I'll talk to
Love
you
you.
soon, okay?
All right. See ya. Bye.